The 6-Day Star Blanket by Betty McNitt. Some people love it, some people hate it. I can't be bothered to make it. I've been thinking about doing this blanket for a long time, you know, following the trends and making my own videos, seeing if I can make this infamous blanket in 6 days. And I recently watched Nitty Gritty's video where she made the blanket and looked amazing, by the way. But she mentioned how it takes a lot of focus, you have to do a lot of counting. And so when I was sat here last night figuring out what I wanted to do, I realized that I wanted to make a star blanket, but with none of the thinking. So instead, we're going to be making a much simpler star blanket, and I'm going to be following one from Yarnspirations. I have made this blanket before. I made it for my baby niece when she was born back in 2022. I can't remember what year she was born, but it was around about that time. This blanket is super simple. There's no thinking involved. I just really wanted a mindless but big project to work on at the moment. Scott has gone on his cruise ship job and I am sat here in my office just twiddling my thumbs with no real direction on what I want to do. So to ease my way back into things, I realized that I needed a large project that would take up a big portion of my time, and also something that was just mindless, that again I didn't have to think about too much. So when my mum came home yesterday with this yarn that my nan had found in the charity shop, I thought this would be a perfect project to do with it. So here I have the So Crafty yarn, which is actually from Aldi. It's 80% acrylic, 20% wool, and it's a chunky yarn. I will show you a close-up. So it's all these beautiful pink colors. I have 3 balls of this. So I decided I'm just going to keep making the blanket until I run out of yarn. So I have no idea how big it's going to come out. I don't know if it's going to be a full-size blanket or if it's going to be more of a baby blanket or somewhere in between, like maybe a throw. But we're going to find out together. Now, I did start this blanket last night because I am impatient. So I'm going to show you a bit of that footage and then obviously footage from what I'm about to make now. So I'll see you in a minute. So, I believe in total I've been working on this blanket for about 2.5, maybe 3 hours so far. And this is what we have. Can you tell it's a star? It's very like warped right now because it's, you know, the stitches are still getting used to being in their place. I don't know if that made sense, but I'm loving how this is working up. I was kind of hoping that this yarn would do that like ombre thing that I've seen a lot of people who use like the Karen cakes happens, where it like goes from light to dark, and then instead of going from the center again, you go from the outside and then it goes like dark to light again. I think those are beautiful, but what I've realized is that this yarn isn't kind of like that. It starts dark and ends dark, so. But either way, I do really like how it's working up. I think it's looking really, really cute. But this morning, I have just been so distracted. I haven't been able to focus properly, so I ended up having to re-download my Pomo studying app, which I don't use for studying. I haven't had to study in like 4 years. I actually found a new one. It's called Focus Pomo, and every time you complete a focus round, it gives you a little tomato. So that's cute, but that does help. It does help me a lot. So, but before I get back to crocheting, I gotta do some chores. I need to have a shower because I'm kind of stinky. I gotta tidy my office because it's an absolute mess. I have to tidy my bedroom because that's also an absolute mess. And I need to package and post a parcel. So I gotta go be an adult for like probably like 2 hours. But then I can come back and crochet all day. So it's been more than 2 hours. Yeah, I did everything that I needed to do. I did tidy my office, but it doesn't look any different on the footage, so I'm in a perpetual state of untidy, but I know where everything is, so it's fine. But anyway, then me and Mum went out for tea. But now we're going to spend the rest of the evening crocheting. I don't have much of my first skein left, so that's fun. Probably going to crack into another one. And let's just see how much we get done this evening. Ta-da! This is how much of the blanket we have gotten done so far. I would say this is baby blanket size, and this is only one skein of yarn, so that's pretty cool. I have no idea how much bigger we're going to be able to make this. I have been burnt many times with the illusion of thinking I have enough yarn to make a really big blanket, but then realizing that I'm working in the round, and the more rounds I do, the more yarn it takes to make one round. So like I said, I have no idea how big this is going to get, but we're going to move on to our next skein. But I want to move locations. As some of you may know, my partner Scott, who is usually sat in the chair right over there, click-clacking away, is currently working on a cruise ship, and he will be for the next 7 months. And so far, it has been okay. We've been able to communicate quite a lot. And so the long distance thing hasn't been too hard so far, but it is so quiet in this house and I do not like it. And it's a really beautiful day today, so I think I'm gonna go try and find somewhere to sit outside. There's a park close to me that I've never actually been to that I really want to try out, so I think I'm gonna go sit there. I might get myself a drink and we're just gonna do some crochet in nature. I'm not an outdoorsy person. This is the most outdoorsy I will ever get. Let's get moving. So I've made it to the park and we are currently sat on the grass. I was hoping that there would be a bench or something I could sit on, but there is not. So I thankfully had this like bit of like cloth that I used to do painting on in the back of my car. So I am currently sat in the grass though, but I've got myself a boba. I've downloaded a show on my phone and we'll just see how it goes. This is like exposure therapy for me. Thankfully there aren't that many people around, so hopefully it'll be fine, but I have had some stares already. Scott always says just make it look like you're doing something important. So that's what I'm going to try and do. So let's get crocheting. Quite a bit more of the blanket done, which is really nice. I got through quite a bit of this yarn. Like this was a full skein, so I'm really happy with that. I've watched 2 episodes of this show called Paradise on Disney Plus. Bro, the reveal at the end of episode 1, yeah, it gagged me. Yeah, I was gagged, okay? My back hurts and my knees hurt and my feet hurt because I am not used to sitting on the ground for this long. So I think I'm gonna go get some food before I head home. But yeah, this is really nice. I don't usually come and do this, and I don't know, I wanted to push myself while Scott was away to kind of do things a bit more independently and, you know, go into public spaces and do things, you know, take up space, even though I'm taking up such a tiny little bit of space here. Trying to improve my skills, kind of filming in front of people, but yeah, I don't know, just taking space. Just taking up space. So I'm super proud of myself for doing that. It's been a really nice day. It hasn't been too hot, hasn't been too cold. The sun is actually getting even warmer, which is kind of my cue to leave. So I'm just kind of proud of myself. I don't know, kind of cringe, but I'll see you at home. Hello and welcome to my back garden. So I'm back home now, and I thought we would follow the trend of me being outside for just a little bit longer. Me and Scott set up this beautiful little gazebo thing in the back garden the other day, and this was my first time sitting outside, utilizing it. My cat is extremely curious though right now. He might knock the camera over. Hello. I'm going to just keep crocheting this blanket, see how much more we can get done. It's still really warm outside. I keep underestimating how warm it is. I brought a jumper with me just in case I get cold, but I don't think that's going to happen for a good few hours. So my camera is running out of battery though, which is really annoying. Oh well. Let's get crocheting. See him? Can you see where he sat? Hang on. Girl, personal space. So as you can tell, time has passed and I've finished the second ball of yarn, which is exciting. I don't know how much of it I'll be able to get in the screen, but it's getting pretty big, and it's big enough that when I'm sat cross-legged, it covers me, which is really nice. Sorry for the dramatic change in scenery. Scott called me, so I answered, and then I got distracted and forgot to finish what I was saying, and now I don't remember what I was saying. I'm super happy with how the blanket is coming together. I think it's looking really cute, and it's actually quite big considering I've only used 2 balls of yarn, so I think I'm going to be pleasantly surprised with how big the blanket's going to come out when it's fully done. We are onto our last ball of yarn now, so that's fun. I'm loving the colours. I did the thing again where I accidentally wore the same colour of yarn that I was working with, so I've just got to be matching all the time apparently. But yeah, I'm just going to keep crocheting all night. I've actually almost finished Paradise, which is so funny. I might start Yellow Jackets next, so that's fun. But yeah, today was a good day. Good morning, gems. Well, I say good morning, it's currently 3 o'clock in the afternoon. I did not work on this blanket at all last night. I thought I was going to take it to bed, finish Paradise, get a little bit done, and then fall asleep. But instead, I watched 1 episode of Paradise and fell asleep with no crocheting being done. And then today has been another day of just like feeling really distracted. I finished editing a couple of things that I needed to edit and like prepping for other things, but I haven't touched this blanket. I haven't done a drop of crochet. And every time I thought about crocheting, I would like go on my phone just to like, you know, do a little bit of scrolling before we get focused, and then just end up getting distracted and just doom scrolling for so long, which is so annoying. Also, I took some pictures this morning of some stuff that I needed to, and now I feel like I've just messed up the settings on my camera and Scott's not here to help me. So I'm so sorry if this looks weird. I'm sure it's fine. But anyway, we're gonna keep crocheting. We're just gonna plod on and we're gonna see how much we can get done today. No pressure. But I did finish a whole ball of yarn yesterday. But then I did start at like 10 a.m. yesterday, so we're already 5 hours behind, you know what I mean? I did finish Paradise. I finished it this morning. It was actually quite good. The last episode felt like a bit of a flop. I don't know. Like everything came to fruition in the last episode, but like I don't even think like I watched it properly. It was kind of boring compared to the rest of them. So now I'm trying to figure out what to watch next. I think I might try and watch, is it St. Denis Medical Hospital or something? I need something that's not doomsday. Like I need something that's a little bit more lighthearted. So I think I might watch that. Failing that, I might watch Yellow Jackets. But again, I'm worried that it's going to be like a little bit too doomy for me. I need something that's a bit happier. Paradise was so like end of the world coded. I mean, it literally was the end of the world. And I was watching it like, oh my god, I'm so depressed now. So yeah, we'll see what happens. I'm currently just watching YouTube. I say watching YouTube, I'm not watching anything. I've got YouTube on my computer, and I'm also scrolling on my phone. But yeah, we're just gonna keep cracking. We're gonna keep going. We're just chilling. This is supposed to be chill. She's done, and you're all the way up there because this thing's massive. So here is the blanket. I can't see how much you can see. It's so cute, and it like I said, and I keep saying, it's actually quite long. I'm pleasantly surprised with the size of this. As predicted though, the last ball of yarn was only able to go around it, I think, well, it'd be from like here. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Like about 5 or 6 rounds. But I did manage to do a single crochet border because I knew I wasn't going to be able to get a full double crochet round in at the end. And I have this much left, which is pretty good. That's pretty good. I used to have a ball of yarn that was almost this exact same shade of pink, but I used it all on my scrap granny squares. It would have been kind of nice to have still had that, so I could have added it to this to make a full extra round, but that's okay. But yeah, I am super happy with this. I also actually really like the way the colors have come out. I know I mentioned how those like ombre balls of yarn kind of come out, but this one didn't go from light to dark. It went medium to light to dark to medium. But I did go from the inside of the skein to the outside of the skein to the inside of the skein, so that the pattern wouldn't like go back on itself, if that makes sense. But I actually really like how it's all worked out, so that is really good. What I might try and do tomorrow, if the weather permits, is I'm going to try and block it, because it's very wonky. Well, no, it's not wonky, it's just not lying flat. But what I might try and do, and this could be a mistake because I've never done this before, I might throw it in the washing machine. Because on the label it does say, I mean, okay, look, right, on the inside it says hand washing warm water, but on the label it has that little like 30-degree mark. Maybe I'll Google what that means, because it is 20% wool, so I do have a slight worry that it will felt. But you know what? Let me quickly Google this whilst I've got you here. Okay, so what I'm seeing here is that it needs to be a cold wash, which I already kind of assumed. And then it also has this like little line underneath. Let me turn this off for a second. Can you see how it has like a little line underneath? I believe that means that it needs to be on a synthetics cycle. I might just put it on the most gentle setting that my washing machine has, just because I don't want to throw this in the bathtub and then have to literally wring it out using my entire body, because even wringing out a jumper makes me like ache all over. So the thought of having to do that with a whole blanket, that's not in my cards. But then the other thing that I have that I'm worried about is how I then hang it up to dry, because I don't really have a space big enough to just lay this flat. So I'm thinking maybe I put it on my washing line, but like by like 2 points, and then like every hour I'll come down and I'll like rotate it so that it's not like stretching too much. I don't know, I've never done this before. We're experimenting. But I have been watching St. Dennis. It's called St. Dennis Medical, and it's actually really good. It's kind of like a running joke between me and Scott that I don't like comedies. I cringe really, really hard at funny stuff because I don't always find it funny. My sense of humor is quite dry, and a lot of like comedy films or comedy shows kind of try too hard to be funny, I think, sometimes. And if a joke doesn't land with me, not that it's not funny or that someone else wouldn't find it funny, but if it doesn't land with me personally, I just get so like uncomfortable, like secondhand embarrassment. And so I never watch comedies. But one of my favorite shows of all time is Arrested Development. I have watched that show front to back to front so many times. It's like my comfort show. So when I saw like the trailer for St. Dennis, it looked like it was going to be on the same vein as that. And I also like, I'm a huge fan of Grey's Anatomy, so I was like, you know what, if it's going to be a funny like medical drama, I think that's going to be right up my alley. It's not a medical drama at all. It's a pure comedy, and it's really good. It's actually really good. Like there's been moments where I've like laughed out loud, and that hasn't happened in a long time. So that is a show recommendation for you guys if you haven't already seen it. St. Dennis, it's really good. But yeah, I mean, I was just thinking about it as well. I actually only started this blanket like 2 days ago. When did I start this blanket? I finished work on Tuesday. Yeah, I started it Tuesday evening, and it's currently Friday. So Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. This is my 3rd full day working on it. So I think to produce a blanket in 3 days is actually pretty good. Anyway, we're gonna stop being so dramatic, and when I snap my fingers, it'll be tomorrow. Ready? Okay, so it's actually a couple of days later. The weather hasn't been great, and I've been working, so haven't been able to dry or block this thing yet, but we're going to try and do it today. Sorry if I look and sound a bit rough. I'm not feeling great today. I've got a really bad sore throat, and I did wake up about 20 minutes ago, so, but I kind of need the thing to dry all day. But I've been brainstorming how I want to like hang this blanket up. I was trying to figure out if I could get a really big bath towel and lay it out flat on the floor, but I just don't think I have anything big enough to lie it onto, so we're gonna hang it up still gonna get the clothesline out. We're just gonna hang it up there. So yeah, it doesn't look like it's gonna be very warm today, as in like visually, but the weather app says that it's gonna be really warm all day. So fingers crossed. I just don't want it to rain. That's my main thing. Should we test out how it's gonna look actually? Because it's feeling a little damp. Like it's feeling like it's gonna be a really damp day. But hey, the weather app says. Okay, and then the plan, right? The plan was firstly to do it like this and then rotate it. But instead, I think I'm actually gonna lay it like this and then like peg these corners together and let it dry like that. I think that'll be better. And it'll also require me not having to come out and like rotate it. Yeah, I think that'll be fine. Cool. Wow, the birds are so loud today. I wonder if we'll get our robin come visit us. Anyway, I'm gonna go put this in the washing machine now. So I'm looking at my washing machine and there is a setting for wool that has the little like hand wash symbol next to it. It's a 30-degree cycle and it goes for 40 minutes. So I think that's the one. Should I put fabric softener in it? Let me just throw the blanket in. Oh, this is so scary. I've never done this before. You know what? It's actually kind of embarrassing as a 25-year-old to like still not know the difference between like fabric softener and laundry detergent and all that jazz. Maybe I'll put a little bit of this in. I don't know. I don't want it to smell. Like sometimes, like I don't always use fabric softeners because sometimes it smells too much. Like it's too strong of a smell. Oh my god, I can't get this lid off. Oh, it's a sign from the universe. It's a sign from the universe. I'm just gonna let it rip. Sorry if you guys couldn't see me this entire clip. I haven't been looking, but I'm nervous, but we're just gonna go ahead. We're gonna let it rip, baby. My microphone wasn't on the whole time. God damn it. Well, I hung it up. Okay, let me give you a close-up. That's so annoying. This is what we're looking like. So I pegged it like up there, and then I've also pegged like the corners together and the sides together to kind of give it some shape. There's a fat-ass bumblebee. I actually don't even know if it's close to me because I can't see it, but I can hear it. But yeah, it came out of the washing machine very nicely. This could be a game changer if I could just throw things in the washing machine. None of my ends came undone. It hasn't shrunk, which is really nice. And yeah, even if this doesn't like make it like really straight and like properly like, you know, block it flat, it'd be good to have just given it a wash because obviously it came from a charity shop. So yeah, we're just gonna let her dry and see how she is in a couple of hours. All right, it has been quite a while since I actually did this blanket, but I just never go around to filming the end of it. So here we are. I'm still wearing the same jumper, but it has been washed, I promise. This is the finished blanket. It doesn't look that much different from when you probably last saw it. But it is washed and I wouldn't call this blocked. I do wish that I had the space or like, you know, the capacity to have actually like laid this down flat and pinned it out so that all the edges were perfectly straight and there was no like ripples or anything. But it is lying a lot flatter than it was before and it feels a lot softer. This yarn was an acrylic wool blend, so it was a little bit scratchy when I first made it, but now that it's been washed, it definitely has relaxed a little bit and doesn't feel as scratchy, so that is really good. It's not huge, it's not massive, it is more of a throw blanket than it is like a proper blanket, but I do like it. I have no idea how I'm going to get pictures of this, but I'll try my best. So yeah, I guess that's that. I don't really know what this video was supposed to be. All of my content thus far has been either everything that I've made in a certain amount of time, or like these stash busting videos, which I like to do and they are fun for me. But I wanted to get more into like crochet vlogs, where I just take you along with me making things and showing you a little bit more of my life, but also just kind of for me, and getting to document the things that I get up to so that I can look back on them and, you know, have all these fond memories like immortalized in these little videos, even if they are just for myself to look back on and remember those times. I've put out 2 crochet vlogs so far, both to do with like concerts, and I loved making them. I loved filming them and editing them, and I feel like my editing has gotten better because of those 2 videos. So if you haven't seen them yet, I would really appreciate if you went and watched them. I've got more concerts that I'm going to that I really want to make things for and like film the process, but also film like the event and stuff like that. So yeah, I really look forward to making those. And also I guess it's been kind of like, you know, it's been 2-ish weeks since Scott has been on his cruise job, and I think I also wanted to just push myself with going out and like doing things by myself and just making sure that I still have that like independence that I had before we got together, which I think I still do. I'm about to go to a concert in a different city all by myself, and that's kind of scary, but I'm also like really excited for it. So yeah, new year, new me, I guess. But I guess just thank you for getting this far. If you have, thank you for watching these videos. They don't do as well as my other ones because they're kind of, I haven't established myself in the crochet vlog kind of side of YouTube. You know, my channel grew off of my everything I ever made video, and these stash busting videos, which you guys really like, and I really appreciate that, and I will not stop doing that. But I've been really enjoying myself making these little vlogs and just taking you guys with me whilst I make things. So hopefully you keep enjoying that, and I'm gonna stop rambling now. But thank you for listening to me whilst I ramble on about crochet. If you like the video, then be sure to like the video and subscribe to the channel. It'd be amazing to have you here. At the point of recording, we have raised £75 for Refuge, the UK domestic violence charity, through my Ko-fi sales. So if you would like to grab something, whether it's a £1 pattern or one of the scarves or hats that I've made, go check out the link in my description. It'd be really awesome if we could raise £100 by the end of April. But I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you enjoy the videos to come. Have a wonderful rest of your day, night or evening, wherever you are, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye guys.